Hello MechWarriors, Badass Battletech here, and today I'm going to be talking about how to properly build and play a LRM boat. The reason why I'm making this video is because some people seem to hate the role for one reason or another, whether it be the meta, the players that use that type of mech, or what have you. So today what I'm going to do is show you how to properly make one, which includes picking the right mech, picking your primary weapons, your secondary weapons and supporting equipment, also covering your countermeasures and countering those said countermeasures, and some tactics that we can go over. So first we are going to talk about the mech choices. Now, there are 4 weight classes and like a couple hundred mechs between all 4 of them. You got your lightweight class. These are your fast, scouty, hit and run little guys. They're really annoying to deal with, and that's their job, to be annoying. You got your medium weight class, which is a good combination of firepower and armor and mobility. They do really well in virtually everything. They're not too tanky, because you don't want to sit there and just take up all kinds of bullets. That's an assault job. But they can take a few hits and dish it out, and they got great mobility and stuff. Then you got your heavies. Your heavies tend to lean more towards the more armor, less speed side of things. They're kind of just like the mediums, except for they lack the mobility, and they make up for it with the additional armor and tonnage that they can carry. And then we got the assaults. These big, gnarly machines that can carry all the weapons, all the armor, but when it comes to mobility, they are crawling. They are really slow, but they're meant to be slow because they're big and they just soak up damage and they dish it out. So when it comes to a LRM boat, which LRMs means long range missiles, so LRM. When it comes to that kind of playstyle, you typically want to stay within the mediums to heavies, while lights can do it as well, with quite a few exceptions. Most clan mechs for the light mechs can do it, and maybe 1 or 2 troll builds on the IS side. So, but generally, when it comes to light mechs, LRM boats are usually a clan thing. So, mediums and heavies, they do really well as LRM boats. They have the proper mobility and tonnage to do so. And then if we go into the assaults, people tend to tell you to stay away from doing LRM stuff because not a lot of people have the skill to do that sort of thing. They don't have the mobility to keep up with the rest of the team, and as a result, you get picked off by a bunch of lights that are running around trying to pick off the slowest and weakest links. And an LRM assault mech tends to be that. Now, if you are a professional or a master at LRM boating, then by all means, that's your choice. Go right ahead. I'm not telling you not to do it, but there's a certain type of finesse that is required for an LRM assault mech. So now that we've covered the weight classes, let's go into picking a mech. And so what we have here is the Archer Tempest. Now, the Archer is a known long-range missile carrier in the lore of MechWarrior and BattleTech, and it is also a fisticuff kind of thing, which was a weird thing. So, but we're going to grab it for the LRMs. So let's build one from scratch. Let's There we go. So, what we're going to cover is first the primary weapon. And the primary weapon for a LRM boat is the LRMs. So, LRMs, long range missiles, they reach out from 200 meters to 900, and that's stock. And with your quirks, that can be carried out even further. Now, I said 200 to 900. That's because that with under 200 meters, there's an arming distance. So when the missiles fly out, they can't deal anything up until they reach 200 meters, and then they can start dealing damage. So we're going to start with two LRM-15s because LRM-15s have a good firepower, ammo, and rate of fire ratio that we're right nice, happy medium where we should be. Clan missiles, they can go as heavy as they want. IS, you tend to have to stick between the LRM-10s and LRM-15s for best results. Alright, and we got Artemis equipped because Artemis tightens the clusters of missiles and makes them more accurate. So that's something that we want to have. It's not necessary, but it just helps. So now we're going to pick our secondary weapons. Now this mech only has missiles and energy, so we're going to go with energy weapons. Let's first put this tag in here, and I'll get to the tag in a sec. Let's go with 5 medium lasers. This will do nicely. There we go. And we're at 55. You know what? Let's make that a. Let's make the. Make it a 60. Let's make it a 60 firepower rating. So. There we go. And now we're going to. Next we're going to pick up an anti-missile system. Anti-missiles, what they do is that in the event that you are receiving missile fire, whether it be long-range missiles, medium-range missiles, short-range missiles, streaks, NARC, well, not NARC, and advanced tactical missiles, you will what it will do is it will mitigate some of the damage that you'll receive by destroying some of those missiles. And that's a very good thing, especially when you got a mech that has more than one launcher, or has more than one pod. If we come here, you can actually see that little round cylindrical thing up at the top right here is your AMS system. So it shoots. We have the one that shoots live ammo, or uses actual bullets to take down missiles. An energy one does exist as well, and you can use that, but it's hot and it takes up more tonnage. Let's see. Next, we are going into the sensory side of things. So first, let's cover ECM. ECM stands for electronic countermeasures. This essentially, if somebody tries to get a lock on you and you have this, they're going to have a tough time obtaining that lock on. And that's a very good thing. It also helps your friends because it creates a small bubble up to 120 meters, I do believe. 120 meters bubble around you. So anybody standing within 120 meters of you can also be protected by the Guardian ECM. Both sides have this. And next, we're going to have a Beagle Probe. Beagle Probe helps deal with countering electronic countermeasures. It also helps speed up targeting data and increases our sensory range. So that's always something you want to have for a LRM boat. Plus, other mechs can use this because it detects mechs that are shut down, and that's a good thing to have. So And then we're going to stick this targeting computer in here, because targeting computers boost sensory range, they boost target lock-on time, making it faster locks. For ballistics, they improve projectile speed, and for lasers, they improve range, and for all weapons, they improve critical chance. So, except for, let's see, except for LBs, which are basically shotguns. Those it doesn't do anything for. Alrighty, let's go into our engine. For our engine, we want an XL. We're not meant to brawl. We are meant to deal damage at distance. Let's see. This may be a little too heavy, so why don't we drop that and go for... Oh, that's not going to be enough space. Yeah, let's leave it. Let's leave it for now. This is looking pretty good. 6 tons is good, yeah. Alright, so next we have our engine. We're using an XL, which XL does not mean extra large. It means ultra light in this game. In order to make it, what it does is that in the cost of survivability, you increase the amount of tonnage you can carry. And by picking this over something else, you can ultimately improve your survivability. We are using a LRM boat, so we're not supposed to be getting up close for brawling. And this is a good thing for us. So what we are going to do is we are going to pack in as much ammo as we can. So there we go. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Now, the reason why I put them in the torso like this is because if you lose an arm, you lose all that ammo. And if you use them in the, if you put them in the torsos, the ammo priority goes center torso, right torso, right arm, left right leg, left leg. So, by the time that this becomes an issue, right here, they'll be expended. So we're not going to worry about that too much. I did not add a double heatsink because we're using LRM, so we're going to be pretty chilly for the most part, unless we engage in direct fire combat. So, and have I covered everything? I think I have. So why don't we take this to the testing ground first? Let's save our build. There we go. And now let's go to the testing rounds, and let's go to Mining Collective for this. Mining Collective is always a good place because it immediately gives you a mech to shoot at. So that way we don't have to go searching, and it's pretty easy to find everything considering it's a rather small map. So on the radar at the bottom, that's basically your best tool.
Oh geez, it's a bad guy.
Alright, since we have visual, we've established a lock-on. Sometimes you have to open your doors for some mechs, or else they slow down, or else the rate of fire slows down. So see, doors closed, doors open. Now when the doors are open, you can take a little more damage, but when they're closed, you can absorb more damage, which is a really neat thing in this game. Let's fix the firing groups, because it'd be awfully weird to yeah. Is obviously better to play in first person than it is in third person. So there's our tag. The tag, what that does is anything that you comes across, if you're pointing at something, at let's say at this mech for example, the little crosshair will pop up and it will indicate to everybody that that is that guy's location. Everybody can see him. Everybody can lock onto him. They have his information, and they can use that to their advantage. Narcs can do this as well. And what a narc is it's a little missile system that would shoot a little pod, and if that pod hits a target, it broadcasts their location for between 45 seconds and a minute. Sometimes longer, depending on the mech that you have and what quirks it has. So we're gonna tag him. Also, I need to let you guys know that the new patch doesn't allow for a mech to have better effect with its own tag. So if somebody has the tag, it's better. It improves your lockability. But if you have the tag, it does not, because direct line of sight, you already have the best lock possible. Anyways, so we just fired some missiles, fired some more. A little red line up the side, a little red line that goes up and down. And fire weapon scale. Once that reaches 100 or more, you will shut down and you will wait and cool off. So we got to be careful about that. So, what makes LRMs or long-range missiles long-range missiles? Well, unlike your mid-range, short-range, and advanced
You what,
tactical,
mate?
they have 2 firing modes. So if we got line of sight, they'll shoot straight for their target. And the reason why they seem like they're going over is because the pods are right above the cockpit. So shoot, direct fire, then we get to indirect fire, and they take a whole different arc. They go up and over. Direct fire, indirect fire, direct fire, indirect fire. Now see, from the looks of it, we just crippled him. So if he was moving around and he was an actual target, he would be in deep doo-doo. Alrighty. Now, the 5 medium lasers, these are not necessarily as important. Sidearms typically range from ballistics, energy, sometimes other missiles, particle projector cannons, also known as PPCs. You name it, you could possibly use it as a sidearm, but that also depends on the hard points that are available to you. So, in this case, there are 6 energy hard points. One of them was used up by the tag as a detection system, and then we have 5 medium lasers. So, this has been a solid build in the past. I might continue with this build. So if you have any questions, feel free to subscribe and place a comment down below. If you like my content and wish to see more, like, comment, and subscribe. So until then, have a nice day, MechWarriors.